Massachusetts. Let's just go through like the top five. So Massachusetts is the second most expensive with 120,141 dollars. California, you need to make almost $120,000. New York City is number four. You need to be making almost $115,000 as a single adult to live comfortably. Let's see. Washington kind of is surprising to me. Like we're like Seattle, Washington, like Washington State. You need to be making almost $110,000 as a single individual. New Jersey is pretty high at $108,000, really $109,000. Maryland is an expensive state at 108, almost 109,000. I knew Connecticut was expensive. Okay, Alaska makes the top 15. Alaska, you need to be making 100,000, $298 to live comfortably. So that was the first set of numbers. That was like the top 15. There are some states I didn't mention. I didn't mention Virginia, Colorado's in there, Oregon's in there, New Hampshire. So yeah, anything that's in the like the that northeast, like the New England, anything that's considered New England is expensive to live. California is expensive to live. New York is expensive to live. It seems like a lot of the West Coast, like especially like the northern part of the West Coast, well, yeah, the whole West Coast is expensive to live. So that's Colorado, like Colorado, California, Arizona, Oregon, makes this list. Washington makes this list. All right. So I'm from PA, right? I'm from PA. And surprisingly, PA is middle of the road when it comes to single adults. It ranks 25, so literally smack dab in the middle. And so to live comfortably as a single adult in Pennsylvania, you need to be making $95,306. Um, but it's crazy because then for a family, you need to be making 200. So yeah, this is definitely more than double, not quite triple, but not far from triple, right? You need to be making $248,435 as a family. If you have a four-person family, that's how much you need to be making. Almost $250,000 a year to be comfortable. And then when it comes to the family ranking, we're 16th, right? So still kind of middle of the road, but still in the top, if I guess, you know, yeah, top, like almost in the top 25 percentile almost. You know what I'm saying? Another state that a lot of people move to from where I'm from, a lot of people move here. They move to Georgia. Georgia ranks 17 for single adults, and it you got to make if you're a single adult in Georgia, you need to be making $99,590. However, though, if you are a four-person family, it's cheaper for families to live in Georgia with 210,829, and for families they rank 33rd. Okay. Another state that a lot of people from around my way like to move to is Florida. Florida is ranked 22 for single adults. For a four-person family, it ranks 31st. So for a single adult, you need to be making $97,000. For four-person family, you need to be making $217,000. So when I look at Georgia, when I look at Florida, yeah, when I look at Georgia, when I look at Florida, those places they're better for if you have a family, it's cheaper. But if you're a single adult, it's cheaper to live in like Pennsylvania, right? Where is Texas at? Texas is I'm looking. Wow, and this is why people move to Texas. Wow. Texas. So for a single adult person, it ranks 30, they're 31st. So really, what I mean, they're on like the second half of comfortability. So it's cheap to live in Texas relatively, especially when you look at it as a state that people want to live in. So as a single adult, you need to be making $90,000, almost $91,000. As a four-person family, you need to only be making $204,000, $205,000 if you round up. And for families, it ranks 40th. So 31st is a single adult, but for families, it's 40th. Now it's cheap to live in Texas, but like Texas got some wild laws. Texas got some wild weather. You know what I mean? Like you got, you can get on certain parts, I guess you can get tornadoes, you can get hurricanes in certain places, you can get flooding. You have extreme dry heat in certain areas, and then you got it's a red state that has a lot of things going for it that maybe people don't necessarily like, especially if you're a little bit more progressive. Michigan is a somewhat decent state in terms of single adult male. I keep about to say single adult males though, just single adults. You need to be making only $87,000 a year. You can be comfortable, and for a family, they rank 38th with $207,000. So yeah, they make it. This is like the third page here, but there's some states on here that like I just don't see as like desirable. Texas is probably the most desirable on this one, maybe Michigan, but like Wisconsin, that's a little too cold for people. But Wisconsin is ranked 37th. So it's really the inverse. I really think they should look at it as like if it's comfortable to live there, then it should be higher. But I think though the thing is some of these states where it says like it's comfortable to live or like the cost of like you don't need that much money to live, that also can indicate that maybe there's not great jobs in that state, or it's like it's kind of hard to kind of find work, or the cost of living might be down, but also the wages are probably down in some of these areas as well. But yeah, like states like Wyoming, Kansas, New Mexico, Nebraska, Michigan, Wisconsin, Iowa, Missouri, Midwest states, but even some deep South states, Indiana, Mississippi, Louisiana. Louisiana for a single adult, it ranks 42 because you only need to make $85,000 there. Alabama, Ohio. So I think people live in Ohio. So Ohio is 40. If you're a single adult, you only got to be making a little less than $85,000 a year for your life to be comfortable. For a family, they rank 28th. You got to be making $220,000. Oklahoma is trash. Worst education in the country. Let's see the top five cheapest states for single adults are we'll start as the cheapest. West Virginia, you only need to be making about $81,000 as a single adult. Arkansas, $81,000. South Dakota, 82,000. North Dakota, 82,000, and then Kentucky, almost 84,000. And then Kentucky is very cheap for families, only 192,000. Let me see, what is the cheapest place for families? Oh, the cheapest place for families is I'm looking for whatever says 50. The cheapest place for families to live is in Mississippi. But think about that. Who the hell is moving to fucking Mississippi? Who wants to live in Mississippi, bro? So I don't know. It's interesting, man, because yeah, I know a lot of people from around my way. In Pennsylvania, people move to Maryland, they move to Georgia, they move to Texas, they move to Florida, and they move to North Carolina. North Carolina is one of it's kind of like middle of the road. North Carolina, it's just a little bit cheaper for than Pennsylvania to live, but it's very cheap for families to live. So for a single adult, it's 93,000, just under $94,000, and then for a family, 210,000 to get you a comfortable life, and they rank 34th. So it is pretty comfortable there. So those are the places that people tend to move when um, they want different things. But think about the politics though in some of these places though. But what do you think? Like I said, as I put some of these graphs on the screen, what do you think? What kind of catches your eye? I do see why people move to Texas. All right. And the thing is, these things, this is in 2025, so those things can fluctuate. They can go up or down depending on the economy, depending on politics. I think certain places, obviously all these places have blue cities in them because most cities tend to be pretty liberal, tend to be blue.